FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends Friday, May 16th.
See Home Club for details.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather.
Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Breezy and not nearly as hot today in Lincoln. We did manage 90 yesterday. I'm thinking 82 for a high temperature today, but wind gusts are going to be around 30 to 40 miles an hour, so hang on to those hats out there. Wind will stay with us tonight. We'll drop down to 56 for a low. We'll get up to 80 again tomorrow with, again, wind gusts up around 30 to 40 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity, positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com. Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
It is indeed On the Block, but I am Jake Bakoven here from the studios in 93.7 The Ticket. I was once on the block, and now I am once again. I actually was once this week already making a visit this week on the block to talk a little bit of Celtics basketball, but at the formation of the show, I should say, On the Block with myself and Strick started off. Now it's a fabulous pair between Austin and Strick and even Jay, so I guess that's a trio, but of course, we're shuffling seats, moving positions all around town, all around the state, I should say, as Austin is doing a great job calling games out there in Omaha for our high school baseball coverage as state baseball is underway. I am here in the studio again, and let me double check here. I believe we might have a caller here. Is our caller Jay Foreman?
What's up, Bob?
It is Jay Foreman. All right, that was a good guess because I was just doing it right on the air. Jay, welcome in. How has your day been going so far?
It's a little windy out here today. Driving down to Kansas City to take care of some business, but it's definitely brisk wind out here. How about you guys?
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit, we're kind of getting used to maybe skipping spring and right into summer, but it does feel like spring is making its appearance again here with some wind. I saw some rain this morning. But luckily that hasn't affected anything with our baseball games out in Omaha quite yet. I guess I don't know as we kind of get to talking, we all have these kind of different shows, but I don't know if I've ever talked baseball with you. Did you play some baseball growing up?
I did. I have a pretty funny story. I liked it or whatever, but I think it came down to, my sophomore year, I was playing baseball and all I wanted to do was pitch. And coach was like, you
still there, Jay? Did we lose you, Jay? Well, we do not hear Jay, but maybe we'll hear him pop up here in just a second. Otherwise, you might hear. I'll turn it down a little bit because you might hear the disconnected. There he is. Jay, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still.
Sorry, we got cut out on your story.
Yeah, I think the funniest part is when I decided to not play baseball that more because I couldn't hit a curveball. I don't know who celebrated more, either my teammates or my dad, because he's like, man, you were horrible.
So yeah, I mean,
he said you were horrible at baseball, but I grew up. My grandfather played in Negro League, so baseball has always been a big part of our family.
Yeah, I never quite caught on to baseball either. I'm not quite the athlete that you are, but either way, I never was able to pick it up. So it always amazes me. One of the hardest things I got to believe, once it gets going, is hitting like a 90-plus-mile-an-hour ball coming right at you. It's quite crazy because I'll even go to the batting cages, and I need to start all the way to the left, if you will, because the more right you go, the faster they get. And by the time you kind of get to that last one, it blows my mind how people even hit those things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the hardest thing to do in sports, to hit a baseball. And then obviously with the human element and like emotion and anxiety, and then obviously the pressure, makes it, even harder. And I think the pitching is in some ways gotten so good where they can place the ball and they have a lot more data on what, hitters can do what and what they can't do. So the strikeout percentage sometimes can be, really, really high. And then they found different ways to create power, whereas, in fact, like when we were growing up, it was more, based on your, the flow of your pitch, your throwing motion. Now they know how to, time their release point, and different type of throwing motions to not only create more power, but create more consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun to kind of watch the game change over the years in different ways. And of course, for Husker baseball, they were able to win last night, coming back from an 8-run deficit to win 11-9. Now they punched their ticket to the Big Ten tournament and got 2 more with Purdue going here. Did want to update everybody on softball. Nebraska softball, last I checked, bottom of the third, up 4-0 on UConn as tournament play gets going there. But I mean, I thought that, that baseball, comeback was quite impressive. What would you compare being into an 8-run hole in baseball to football?
Being down 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
Or 17 points, or any 3-possession game. Where you look at it because you look like, all right, it's insurmountable. You could very easily tap out. In football, they say it's just like PlayStation. You're down by 21 points. That's the reset rule. So if you're down like 21 or 17 in the fourth quarter, and say you only have 3 possessions left and you score on all 3, and then it's equivalent of, probably, I wouldn't say Hail Mary, but a couple of explosive plays and, walk-off field goal to win. So, but, look, all you need is one thing to happen in your way, and then next thing you know, you're off to the races.
What would you say would be the hardest sport to come back from? Because as I was kind of looking at it, the NBA, we're seeing so many of these, double-digit comebacks in the playoffs. Doesn't seem to be basketball as much, especially with the 3-point game can kind of get down early. But if you start getting your shots to hit, then you can come back quickly. You think football or baseball or a different sport come to mind?
Well, I think maybe baseball is, and I guess you could throw softball in there just because, they're the starting pitchers don't get overextended like they used to. And so you have specialty pitchers, middle relief, and then obviously long relief, and then obviously the closer. So if the pitching, the best way to stop an offense in baseball is actually good pitching and defense. And great pitching really nullifies anything that you've done in the regular season. When you look at football, I think you can get a couple big, it's not just big explosive plays, you can get some big pass interference calls that are the equivalent of big pass plays. And then obviously with basketball, the kind of money ball, I guess view on things, trading 2 or trading 3 for 2 can allow you to come back at a faster pace. Even though it seems like OKC, they use it by cranking up their pressure and creating, easy opportunities on the defensive end. But it's the same type of concept where it's like, in baseball it's very, very hard. So it's commendable at the softball team the baseball team being down 8 to be able to come back. And I think it was a big victory. Maybe they can use it as a true springboard because they had high expectations coming into the regular season. That took them a little bit, time to get going and to meet those expectations.
Yeah, it's been fun. Certainly, that series now going 7 games with Denver getting the win the other night. But I didn't want to ask you because it's funny because whenever we ask somebody that played in your era, I have to do this with Terrell and Rashawn all the time. I try to think, well, what was it like when your team was in a situation like this or that? But of course, you guys lost like 3 games your whole career, and that might be too many. Correct me if I'm wrong. So usually not in those situations. In the pros, though, what do you remember the biggest comeback being for when you were on an NFL roster?
There was a couple times in Buffalo, when you're in rivalry games and you're down, and then next thing you know, you keep hitting explosive plays. There's a couple times Eric Mold, was really destroying Ty Law, who actually ended up making the Hall of Fame. We were able to come back on the Patriots a few times, one time in Foxborough and stuff like that. And in college, to be honest with you, Bach, I guess I would say the Missouri game, especially when we got going. We got the great play by Matt Davidson, on third down there. But then that momentum led us into pure domination in overtime, which we weren't able to really have a good handle on Missouri all game long. So it's the same thing. It's not apples to apples, but momentum can sway your way, and then you just ride that wave all the way to the finish line.
And of course, that's one of the more famed games in Husker lore. I do remember that, and I was young when I was watching that, so my memory might not be quite as good. Of course, I've watched it back, but I just remember the defense dominating in that overtime between, I think it was Wistrom and Rucker, and I'm sure you were out there as well. What did you guys kind of figure out the riddle, or was that just kind of the momentum, like you had said, it's swayed so far in Nebraska's direction?
Obviously they would, water down the grass and everything, and we slowed down a little bit. But I think, we started to finally get a good hold on how we were playing, even in the fourth quarter, because we had to come up with some big stops to get the offensive ball back. So we had the confidence, and then once we saw smelled blood in the water, then it was over, and that's what happened in overtime. And the 2 Missouri guys, Ruck and Wistrom, really led the way in overtime. So that was, that had to be pretty special for them.
Now, I got to ask you, because it's come up lately. I think Sipple said it, and I don't know exact phrase he put it in because we got a text, and Rashawn and Terrell just kind of went off of it there on the captain. So I don't want to misquote Sipple here, but it was somewhere in the range of saying that Randy Gregory might have been better at his best than Grant Wistrom. What would your response be to that?
No, he wasn't. I mean, I don't know what games he was watching, but it's not even close. I mean, Randy Gregory probably had more potential than anybody that's probably played at Nebraska. When you think about height, weight, size and speed especially when he first got here. But, doing it for a couple games and a couple moments is different than doing it for a whole career. And, maybe he's just thinking like, okay, those he could have been, but he wasn't. So, he could have been, a lot better. But, I mean, I still think, I'm not trying to take anything away from Randy, but comparing him to one of the all-time greats to ever play at Nebraska and saying that when he was on, there shouldn't be really good players don't need an asterisk about it, by themselves. Well, when I try games or, when I was really hot, then I'm, one of the best. And that goes around with everybody. It's what you do sometimes is what you do all the time. And that's what Grant did. He dominated all the time, and it wasn't a sometime thing.
Yeah, I think that was kind of my response to it, is kind of thinking like, all right, I mean, I don't see it, but I guess if you could argue maybe the potential was there, but that was what was special about Grant. It seemed like is that the motor didn't turn off. It wasn't, a few pop plays here in a game. And again, nothing against Randy Gregory. He was special in his own right. I mean, he was outside of a couple things going wrong going into the NFL draft would have been a top pick, but certainly just comparing that to Grant Wistrom is kind of hard. I mean, that's there's been a lot of comparisons thrown around Nebraska recently. I mean, even the Cam Jurgens move that everybody says Scott Frost got right, which is he did. He moved him to center, but comparing him to Dave Remington right out of the gate was interesting, an interesting move. And I guess I don't. Go ahead.
I think people just do it too loosely in general. I remember, when during recruiting, and I think it was during Mike Riley's time, we recruited a running back from Texas, the Houston or Dallas area. and he wore number 28, and he did run upright, kind of like Adrian Peterson, but that was the write up on him. You know, he runs like Adrian Peterson, or he runs like kind of with the Adrian Peterson type of like, you know, velocity or like being fearless and stuff like that. And I was like sitting there thinking like, this kid's 18 years old, and now you're trying to, you know, compare him to a Hall of Fame running back that, you know, at that time probably lighting the league on fire. And he just got done running through a bunch of, you know, middle school kids. And so it's just not the best way to do things. But then also it's unfair, and it's obviously, you don't really appreciate the greatness of guys that have. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, when, you know, Randy Gregory would have lived up to his potential, or maybe say if he played 4 years, or if he had the focus of Grant, he could have been better than everybody. But at the end of the day, he wasn't. And everybody always has factors on why they were and why they weren't. What people don't realize is like the likes of, I guess myself, Farley, Grant Wisham, Jason Peters. You know, we all played together. We weren't just the one guy on the team. You know, a lot of times in Bo's defense, then he had one or two guys. We had guys. We had 22 guys that either got drafted or played over 2 or 3 years in the NFL. So, you know, the depth was there, the competition was there, and that's not taking away, you know, anything from anybody. But, you know, I think the comparison is equivalent of trying to compare the 2019 to 1995. He's close, but yet so far.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's and player comps can kind of be fun and obviously kind of give you an idea of maybe playing style or stuff like that. But it's great. Those things have been thrown around here quite a bit. And then I remember a couple of years ago in the NBA draft, people started going after Jalen Rose because every pick, I mean, they were at like pick 27, 28, 29, like everybody he was comparing to all-stars and you know, like NBA legends. Like, I don't know if they're getting that good of a pick here at 28, and they could, you know, you never know. Jokic was drafted late, but it's just kind of fun to do those things. But to your point, and I said, I've you know, kind of watching this, you know, having sat back and watched Nebraska football since those, the glory days, as we call them, or at least, you know, the 90s kind of fading into the 2000s, you kind of saw some difference in roster change. And then, you know, as it just kept going and you get further and further away to where they are now, where you're trying to build it back up. But just how different is a Nebraska roster now compared to when you were playing? Because, I mean, it's quite, it looks quite a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really compare because, you know, I think we have bigger rosters. And I think that, you know, now that you know, they have the transfer portal, so, you know, development isn't as, you know, well, it's important, but, you know, the kids coming out of high school need to be more ready-made. And so, like, guys like myself, you know, even Grant had to get bigger, faster, stronger. Now they're wanting you to hit certain check marks before you get here from high school, and even more check marks when you come in the portal. So it's significantly different. And it changes year to year. You can be a very old team. You can have a middle, like, age team, meaning not too old and not too young. Or you could be a really young team and inexperienced, and then it just kind of goes in cycles. So, you know, physically, I think, you know, they got some big guys on you know, Nebraska, but I think also, you know, we had just as, you know, many. But I think, you know, really, to be honest, Nebraska's roster, you know, looks pretty good, you know, and looks, you know, every year they look better as far as more like a Big Ten team. And so now the big part is they got to go out and just play like it. You know, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do in college sports is to go out and play because you spend so much time talking this group. Another rule change, bowl money and all that. And those 2 or 3 months can set forth the path of, you know, in a lot of ways, the rest of your life, but more or less the next 2 or 3 years of your football career, not only your college, but pro career being set up pretty good.
Yeah, and then, you know, naturally you kind of think about if Nebraska is close, well, what's keeping them, you know, from passing that line? And a lot of it's just been winning these games. I mean, we can go through all these kind of roster and self-reflection type of problems, you know, looking in the mirror and all that. And yes, there's plenty of that to be done. But how much of it is just not winning these close games make you feel like Nebraska's further away than it really is?
Yeah, I mean, all losses aren't created equal, and sometimes you can, you know, it's like basketball. It's boxing. You can be, you know, down by 16 and hit a couple threes. Next thing you know, it's not a double-digit loss. And so, sometimes you can look at how you lose when you lose in the dynamic of if you're in a run where you're on a downturn and the Big Ten is at an uptick, it's tough sledding. And so, going on the epic run from the, not only the late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it's going to be hard to do. This is named off about 40 years of dominating football. So now what you have to do is have realistic, clear expectations and then put forth a path that everybody can go out there and execute. And so, when you get into those games, you understand you're just going off of just like repetitive motion and you're not reacting. You're just responding to the pressure and responding in a positive way. And that also, I think, is a byproduct of what everybody wanted or thought they wanted outside of Bama dominance, Georgia, I guess, recent for the last couple of years, and that run on Clemson did, is they wanted parity. And so if you're on the wrong side of parity, then you're in a little bit of trouble. But if you're on the right side of parity, then it's like, man, you got a lot of discipline and stuff like that. But more importantly, if you have a little bit better players, you have the different circumstances on both ends. And so it's all relative in how you take it and how you do it, but then better yet, just how you deal with it. So, college football is definitely a lot of parity, and the dominance and is probably not going to be, the 8, 9, 10-year run. It's going to be like a 2 or 3 year period. Then you're going to have to like reload or reset.
That'd be fascinating to see that play out. Obviously, Alabama kind of changed what it meant to be dominant. You mentioned Clemson there as well, but I got to agree with you. This year, it's even tough to predict a champion just because preseason champion, I should say, just because there is so much parity at the top and all the top teams losing quarterbacks. So it's very interesting. But let's go ahead and take a quick break. We got Jay Foreman on the Aloe Fiber VIP line. I'm Jake Bachman back in the studio. We'll be back with more On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through May 18th, enjoy USDA Choice 10-ounce top sirloin steak for $6.99 each. All natural pork steak, $2.49 per pound. Carbless canned cocktails 4-packs for $7.99 when you buy 2, and whole watermelons for $5. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends Friday, May 16th.
See Home Club for details.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit Roofing Service Company roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Batter up! Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492. G187747 and G196599.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We are back here on the block on 93.7. The Ticket again is an abbreviated show today, just for 1 hour. Myself, Jake Bachman, sitting in for Austin Orman, who will be calling the next game out in Omaha for our high school baseball coverage. So far today, Lincoln East has beaten Pavilion La Vista 6-0, a game that Nick Sainert actually called, and then Austin had the call on Millard South 2-1 victory over Millard West. Don't go anywhere. Our next game set to tip off or kick, or what do they call it for first pitch? Yeah, how about that for baseball at the top of the hour? So don't go anywhere. But as for right now, we got myself, Jake Bachman, and Jay Foreman in studio. We're talking about Husker football and the parity that was in this league, in college football in general. But it got me thinking, and obviously the Michigan game coming up this year already got kind of the headlines of their head coach potentially, Sharon Moore, missing that game as he has been suspended by their own school. They suspended themselves for that game. And it's just interesting because I think back to the game 2 years ago against Michigan, where it was just a mismatch from the beginning. Think back to Indiana last year, because we talk about all these close games. What in your mind kind of happened in those games that got away from Nebraska? And I think they're different stories where year one against Michigan, a national champion, maybe that's a little bit more understandable. Obviously, the Indiana game last year, do you think that those type of blowouts that we've seen under Matt Rule, and those are the only ones I could think of, is that done heading into year three?
Yeah, I think, look, that's the thing about college football. You could, look at Colorado. We jumped on them quick, beat the brakes off them in the first half, and they're able to do some things in the second half, and then you would have never thought they were going to win 9 games after that, right? And so, or be a 9-win team in one game away, essentially, from the college football playoffs. So you got to look at how you lost. I think the Michigan team was just that was a veteran team, first-round picks everywhere. So it was like, David and Goliath. But I think, with that, you just wanted to see a little bit more competitiveness, right? And I think that's what Matt Rule, mentioned. But I think the Indiana game, I think you faced a team that was hot. They were rolling. And it was at one time, I think, in the red zone, I think we either went for it, didn't get it. That's where we talked about momentum. They were able to go take that missed opportunity from getting any points, right? Down the field, and it's a 14-point swing, and that's how you end up with your back against the wall, and then you're always playing catch up. So I think the biggest thing to do is you want to work on, I call it playing steady, but which equates to starting fast. I mean, you don't give up any explosive plays, any big plays, but more importantly, you're able to make your own plays when you need to, and then therefore when all the kind of glitz and glamour starts to settle down a little bit, you're able to really, get the game going your way. And so it's a game of runs, but then also if you can't really win the game in the first quarter, but you can definitely lose it. So I think it's one of those things that Indiana made some good plays. And it comes down to like this, right? We just missed a couple opportunities on third down on both offense and defense, and they capitalize on it. Next thing you know, that's a 21-point differential, and then they're off to the races. And then now you're always playing catch-up. So now you're just playing out of desperation a little bit of, I guess, concept is where maybe you're taking more risk and you can't, you got to scrap your game plan, because when you're not starting as fast and you're kind of playing defense the whole time, what you want to do. But then you're just waiting to try to, get your break, and then they're able to kind of dictate the pace. And that's what Indiana was able to do for the majority of the season, until they started to play like a Notre Dame and stuff like that dictated the pace to them, which Nebraska wasn't able to do.
Yeah, there's a few things that kind of stick out to me in that game. One was Elijah Surratt of Indiana. Anytime, like you mentioned, third downs, he was their third down specialist. He'd made some difficult catches to keep some of those drives going. Obviously, they scored on plenty of those drives. And then the other thing is, remember, Nebraska defense had not had a rushing touchdown on them all season going into that game. They're the only team in college football to do so. And then Indiana had 4 of them in the first half or whatever it was. So I think that kind of broke their spirit a little bit as well.
Yeah, it depends on how they're doing. I think it wasn't like they were lining up and bowling Nebraska over. I think Nebraska just, had a couple mishaps. And that's what happens on explosive plays. Now, look, their receiver was making really good 50-50 catches, and that's what, really propelled them, right? Where if you don't make those, then it's a totally different game, even on the scoreboard, and momentum, more importantly. But, when you're thinking about the touchdowns and what they were able to score, it really came down to, maybe a little bit lack of execution on Nebraska's point, right? Gap integrity, controlling your gap, owning your gap, and then obviously going out and playing football afterwards. So, it just comes down to one of those things that you got to execute, and it's hardest the thing to do in the biggest games on the biggest stages. So, it's a learning lesson for them, and then they got to really be able to prepare for that. So when you're preparing the season, you got to prepare for the what ifs, and the what ifs is like what happens if you get in this situation again against a team like Indiana, at home or away. How do you react? And that's probably the growth that you would like to see from the team, because the talent is there, the coaching experience is there, the want to is there. Now you just got to go and execute.
And it is interesting on the Michigan side. I have kind of a quiet rage because I'm upset that the whole situation that the Michigan coach Sharon Moore has decided to be suspended for the Nebraska game. I think it's kind of looks like he's just kind of big brother in the big Nebraska in the Big Ten. I don't think the NCAA should necessarily care about his feelings about wanting to go home and play at Oklahoma. So in my mind, when the NCAA meets about this, they should say, well, okay, you'll accept your 2-game ban, or maybe they want to add more, but in this case, we'll accept your 2-game ban. We're going to start from the beginning of the season. You're going to pick and choose where you go. I keep equating it to you don't send your kid to timeout and tell him he gets to choose to stand in the corner or in front of the TV. Obviously you don't get to choose your punishment in my mind, but I say that all quietly because I do think that it's a bit of an advantage, or at least might be helpful for Nebraska if Michigan doesn't have their coach heading into that game. But I find it fascinating, because when you look at that game from Nebraska's angle, I don't feel like you feel like it was the last time Michigan was waltzing in here. Like we said, it's a little bit of them falling off from the championship level, but it's also hopefully Nebraska rising up and being better than they were in year one under Coach Rule. How do you view that game? Because that's my surprise to it, is that they're deciding, okay, we're gonna take the punishment in this Nebraska game instead of this Oklahoma game. And I'm not so sure that the Nebraska game might not be more difficult than the Oklahoma game. I'm not sure it will be, but it seems it feels like a 50-50 type of game to me.
Yeah, I think it's obviously, if you need motivation, is the ultimate disrespect that the coach says that he wants to get suspended later in the season because they feel like they can just have an assistant coach, come down and beat you. But obviously, you got to remember that Michigan team, when they won the national championship, was probably one of the best rosters assembled and paid for in the last 5 to 8 years. All of them a lot of guys are playing in the NFL. You got started everywhere. So I think more importantly, I think Nebraska's got to worry about their own business versus worrying about what Michigan's going to do, because if Nebraska handles their business, they'll be in it. And then they just got to make the plays that are necessary. So, I think Nebraska coming in with the advantage at the quarterback position, I think is probably plays in their favor. Like when Michigan came in with J.J. McCarthy, now we just got to win the line of scrimmage, which Michigan is always going to be tough at. And then it's going to come down to game plan and execution. And we get them at home with the situation kind of like in our favor for once.
Yeah, that'll be one of the more exciting games of the year. Obviously, plenty to get excited about. One other thing I wanted to get to you, and we'll let you go here for this segment because we just got a final short segment before we get to baseball. But I did want to get your thoughts on this because I thought it was interesting. The other day, somebody texted in because we're talking about the Cincinnati game, and we're thinking, okay, we're going to learn a lot from that, but not necessarily learn everything. He said you're going to know all you need to know by this first game against Cincinnati. And it just kind of struck me, well, Cincinnati beat Arizona State last year. I know they're 5-7, but they do have the capability of jumping up and knocking off a better team, let alone it being week one. So we're all excited about the season. Obviously, we've seen in past years what a first week loss can do to that kind of excitement. I'd hope that doesn't happen again. But I would say you'd be far from knowing everything you need to know if Nebraska did slip up week one against Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's tough. The first game is going to be the hardest. And so, they're going to be a game opponent. So you just got to go and, again, you got to handle your business before you worry about what everybody else is doing. So if you go out there and flop around, turn the ball over, you're not going to be, Willie Lump University. So, Cincinnati's going to be tough. You can't really draw a full-blown conclusion, but you want to see some growth from last year. But, you'll see if you stub your toe the first week, doesn't mean that your season's over. And if you win the first week, doesn't mean that you're going to be national champion. So it's a long season. It's a stressful season, and it's a lot of pressure, and you got to welcome the pressure. The pressure lessens the better you prepare. So, you win games in the beginning of the season and about right now when you start to get into summer workouts.
Pressure never broke our man, Jay Foreman. Jay, thanks for hopping on today.
All right, man.
All right, there he goes, Jay Foreman, host of your show here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket, along with Austin Orman and Eric Strickland. And, of course, for Jay, as we move forward of old school as well. But let's go ahead and take a quick break. We've got one final segment before we get back to baseball here this afternoon on 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, for the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Jake Bachman back with you here at our 93.7 The Ticket studios. We are preparing and getting ready for Pavilion La Vista South and Millard North, the 2-7 game here, and as Class A state championship baseball gets going. We already have finals from earlier in the day. Lincoln East with a 6-0 victory over Pavilion La Vista, and Millard South doubling up Millard West 2-1 in our early games today. So we don't have a whole lot of a long segment here. Just did want to give you an update on the latest of Nebraska softball. So they are leading in heading to the middle of the mid-4th, I believe it was the last time I checked. Huskers up 7-2. So exciting stuff there. Nebraska hopefully going to beat UConn, and then likely LSU waiting for them on the other end. We'll still see LSU's going to beat Southeastern Louisiana. That game is at 4:30. Just want to remind you of some other games going on today. Didn't quite check the Nebraska baseball game, but they should be playing Purdue right now. So I do want to pay attention to that to see where that's going. Of course, Nebraska, as we mentioned throughout today, already did clinch a spot in the Big Ten tournament, but would be a big win today as it would clinch a better than 500 season for the Huskers on the mound. So that would be good, at least for the regular season. And then one other thing to keep of note as we look forward to a good sporting night as well. Celtics and Knicks at 7 p.m. Celtics need to win for the Force Game 7. And, of course, they're the defending champions. I'm a Celtics fan, so I just had to get that in one last time just in case I can't celebrate and pound my chest for the defending champions there. But they're up against it. We'll see if they can win at Madison Square Garden tonight. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Send it right back out to Austin Orman after a quick commercial break. as we get ready for Papiola Vista South and Millard North in Nebraska State baseball action coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our